Okay, folks, for the girls, so not praying, not going to temples during your periods is a taboo, and I personally believe in following my instincts and with the signs I get all around me. So I'm going to share a small experience that I had uh, with respect to the same situation. And that's how I move about in life before I apply logic. It's through my instincts and through the constant signs that I get. So, the very fact that we are not allowed to enter temples, we all know. Even some of us women, we debate also with societies or our relatives that why shouldn't we pray or why shouldn't we go to a temple during our periods. But ultimately, that something within us keeps us from breaking that. So yeah, this concept was very disgusting to me, because coming from a standpoint of a person who prays every day, the 4-5 days that I don't get to pray or I don't get to enter temples, I used to feel very disconnected with God or higher powers and all that. So last month what happened is, during my periods I don't enter the temple, but I go to the premises because I have to give water to the birds over there, and I have to place the water bowls, and I have to feed some of the birds and the dogs in my temple premises of my society. But I don't enter inside, and I don't you do abhishekam to the shivling, but I enter the premises and I sit outside in front of the shivling and I just meditate during those 4-5 days. So last month a very strange thing happened. The tap and all the water outlets were blocked in the mandir area. And the sight was very heartbreaking. When I reached the temple premises, I literally saw that there was no water around. Had I known, I would have carried a big bottle of water. And when I asked the guards, they told me that there's a breakage in the pipeline, so which there will be no water for 2 days. And I literally saw there were pigeons dead, on the ground and on the grass because of lack of water. And I was just telling God that what kind of a justice is this, because no one had placed water in those water bowls. Because the first day of my periods I was not feeling well, so I didn't go to the temple. This was the second day of my periods. So while I was sitting in front of the shivling outside the temple and meditating, the sight that I saw is there was a pigeon. So you all know the kalash that will be there for abhishekam, right? So one pigeon in desperation sat on the kalash, on the brim of the kalash, because someone had placed a little bit of water inside that kalash so that the constant flow of water happens on the shivling. And the pigeon was trying to just reach for that water inside the kalash, but it was so low that it was not possible for the pigeon to reach out to. So I don't know what you would have done, but I just couldn't stop myself. So, and it was the second day of my periods, I told God that please forgive me. I know it's a taboo, but this is still that we still don't do, because that's how we are, we are wired by even our parents that you shouldn't enter temple during your periods. I got inside the area where the shivling is. I took a bowl from there. So I took, I literally dipped my hand with the bowl inside the kalash from where the constant abhishekam of the water happens on the shivling. I took water from that kalash and I kept outside the shivling. And then I came outside the temple and I was again sitting at that porch where I was sitting. And it was such a peaceful sight to see that the pigeon literally, sat beside that bowl and it was dipping its entire head into the water and drinking that water. So at that moment I realized that, will God really punish me for this? No, right? Because the pigeon needed water, and we all know that you don't deny water to any living being, right? Because if you do, that's the greatest crime that you are doing. So that's when I realized that it's time for me to at least break the taboo, because God is watching and God is seeing the deeds that we do. And not these fake stuffs that people keep seeing. Of course, if any priest or anyone watches this video, or some of you will have you'll do, how could she do it, and all those stuffs. I care a damn, because that helped at least a pigeon from dying who was desperate for water. But that helped me break out of the taboo. And this Saturday I was again on my periods, and it was Hanuman Jayanti, and this time onwards I have started going to temple. I did go inside the temple. I did do puja. I offered whatever I had to offer to Hanumanji. So I am doing puja now onwards in my periods, and I'm going to temples. Yeah, so I don't know if this message changes or allows some of the women, you all also, to take that step to break the taboo. But again, it's up to you. But just one small information based on, ancient sacred knowledge. Some of you might know a woman is the most powerful. A woman's energy is the most sacred and powerful during her periods days. She is not, unclean, dirty, or untouchable during her periods. In fact, she is the most powerful, because periods are also, in terms of energy, it is sacral chakra clearing for every woman. And sacral chakra energy is directly connected to the power of a woman's womb. And I'm sure you all know what that power means. So basically, the society fears the power of a woman during her periods, the power of her press, the power of the energy of attraction that she has within herself, and the power of her manifestation. So women, if you are still thinking that whether I should meditate, whether I should do certain rituals, whether I should chant mantras, whether I should go to temples, this is your sign that you should go ahead and do it. Just forget what the society is saying and what the priests are saying, because when they don't allow women to do something, that means they're scared of the power. And this is something that we all know from the Devi Shakti, right? So yeah, on a funny note, for us Bengalis, Ma Durga comes to her home and visits us, right? That's the time we celebrate Durga Puja, during some days in October. What if Ma Durga was in her charms and she was in her periods? Will you not, worship her because she's in her periods? And also, after spending 9 years in South India, I don't know if it happens in other, I guess in Padman also we had seen that during periods, women are literally kept secluded in a particular corner of the room, or in some areas. I've seen that happen in Hyderabad. So I guess, and when I had asked this to some of my South Indian friends, apologize if I don't mean to target a community, I'm just telling what I've seen. So my friends told me, oh no, we just do this because women should not be working. They need rest during these days. So if women needs rest during these days, then what about the women who are working in the defenses? What about the women who are working in army, securing the borders? What about the women working in air forces? What about the maids who come to work at our home, irrespective of whether they are having the periods pain or not? What about the working mothers who, in spite of their periods, sometimes they have to work 16-17 hours in a day in office, and then come back at home and take care of their husbands and their kids? What about all these people? So for that particular cult or sect who seclude women and keep women in a particular corner of their house during those 3-4 days, their period, saying that no, you don't have to do any work because you need rest, please don't try to, hide behind your illogical and insensible beliefs. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. It's just your age old programming and thought process that's speaking. So break that, or else don't show that you really have a concern towards a woman. If you really have to, yes, women go through a lot. They go through mood swings, they go through cramps. I'm not denying the fact, but we know how to handle it. And if at all men needs to support us, then they can support us in the form of maybe sharing some of our work. Just there's a difference between making a woman feel comfortable or making, being her comfort zone during the days of her periods. If she's struggling, not everyone struggles, if she's struggling, and not seclude her and not touch her, keeping her in one corner and saying, hey, you don't go to kitchen, you don't go to mandir, and you need rest. Okay, I hope that the message is clear.